Don't let me down. 1, 2, 3, go. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Nobody ever loved me like you do. Oh, she does. Yeah, she does. And if somebody loved me like you do, oh, she do. Yeah, she does. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. I'm in love for the first time. Don't you know it's gonna last? It's a love that lasts forever. It's a love that has no past.
So I'm Bob Fera. I'm the father of all these talented guys. And I'd like to take all the credit in the world for it, but truth be told, you know, if you buy the equipment and kind of leave it hanging around, it's amazing what kids will do. I mean, I'm sure they've had the spark, and you know, over the years I've had the Beatles anthology playing, kind of with the baby basket inched over toward the TV, or maybe the Who, The Kids Are All Right would be on, and you know, little Robert would be kind of aggravated that he wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob. But ultimately, we've always cultured how would you say? This is kind of a place where musical ideas can find their fruition, I hope. That's kind of what we go for around here, just leaving things laying around. And I've never really given the kids a hard time about playing my guitar. Joe Jackson and the string, Tito, it's like rough. You know, I've never really had anyone run upstairs and get a switch. You know, it's not like that either, which kind of makes us all hacks, actually. I'm the ultimate hack, which is kind of funny. I play a little bit of everything that a musician should be able to play, so I could probably sit in with your band and play 2 chords, so give me a call if you'd like. A little history about me. I grew up thinking I was going to be the next Keith Moon. That was first. So here I am, a drummer. I'm really not that great of a drummer, and I've been told that many times. So that being said, I was never really thrilled with the singers that would be singing in all the bands I was playing in grammar school and in high school. So I learned how to play guitar. I was about 13. Never really was able to carry much of a solo, so I'm kind of just a rhythm guy, that's about it. So I started singing and writing songs at about 13, and then I went from wanting to be the next Keith Moon to actually believing that I was going to be the next John Lennon, which worked out great because now I'm a nurse, and I play music once in a while. Probably it's down to 3 times a year, where before, maybe in my early 20s, I was playing about every weekend or twice a week. It was great, right up until they realized I had no talent. But that being said, I think that the key to success with the boys will be to not get their hopes up too high and expect so much from music like your father did, but just to enjoy it, and that's kind of where we're at.
My name is David Fera. I'm 18 years old. I'm the 5th oldest Fera. I play the drums and a little guitar. It's so much better playing the drums than anything else. I mean, sure, playing the piano is cool because they can do crazy shit, and then Guitars, I don't even understand it. But to be able to play the drums is just better, in my opinion, because you're just free to do whatever you want, and there's no limits on the frets. There's no limits to the keys. I mean, sure, there's only so many toms you can hit, but what's the limit to the combinations you can hit them? I mean, it's just amazing because there are still beats that people haven't even thought of. It's unreal. I mean, I love it.
My name is Angel. I just turned 7. I play, I sing, and I'm learning drums. I like having a big family because I get to learn drums and play music and learn instruments.
What do you like to do for fun, Angel?
I don't know, build Legos, play outside, do fun stuff, help make stuff, and stuff like that, yeah.
When you were growing up, did you find that big thing? No. No, the family just kind of happened. It's like the Jurassic Park quote, life finds a way, and it did. So now we have 15 kids, 9 sons, 6 daughters. All my sons, except for Justin, who seems very musically inclined, play instruments, which is pretty cool. And the girls do know how to cook, most of them. That's a big deal because I like to eat and they like to feed me. It's a good payoff. So that's about it.
I remember watching Bernie on MTV live, and he had like what, like a beer, and he had this thing, and that was a lot. Like I used to think Bernie was on, and there was a London Bridge music.
Hi, my name is Tony Fera. I am 8 years old, turning 9 next month. I'm the 11th oldest Fera. Yes, I play drums, but I play guitar and a little bit of piano too. I like having a big family because I have a lot of family to help me learn instruments, and I have a lot of brothers to play music with me.
I remember when I was growing up, my mom and dad used to take us on a lot of country rides, and I remember saying a prayer, saying, God, let me have something to do every single day in a neighborhood like this. So when we moved to Holland, which is very much like this, now when I drive, I think about that pretty much every time. It's usually on Sundays just because I got my kids with me,
My name is Andrew Fera. I'm 23 years old. I'm the second oldest of 15 kids. Okay, growing up with 15 kids, you need a system. You can't just have free reign, kids running around, making messes. It's not cheaper by the dozen. It's never been like that. I mean, maybe at a family party, everybody will get a little riled up, but typically there's order, and it's a natural order. Because as a 15-year-old older brother, it wasn't about doing a job or doing chores. It was about if your room was messy, it got to a point where you just wanted it clean. Or if you're making yourself breakfast and there's all these kids sitting around you, you just make a few more eggs. Or if you want your laundry done, you do your laundry, but you throw in everybody else's clothes so you make it a full load. So it was never about, we do have a job sheet where a certain day you have a job, and that gave structure, and everybody knows what they're supposed to do. But I think beyond that, there's just certain things that you knew you had to do to keep in order. I particularly like to mow the lawn. I like to put on my headphones and drive around the lawnmower. It allowed me to escape if everything was too much for me. If I had too many things going on, I would just sit on the lawnmower and drive around and mow the lawn. It was just something I liked to do. And you know, one of the other kids might like to sweep the floor. You know, everybody eats Cheerios for breakfast, and then by 11 o'clock in the morning, you could make, you know, you could fill a box of cereal filled with Cheerios on the floor. It's just the way it works. So there's just an order that was put naturally in place, that my parents had to put in place to keep in order. But now I'm just being redundant.
What is the most commonly asked question you get from people when you tell them how big your family
Oh,
is?
I can't say that on camera.
Say it anyway.
They always say, how many women? That's the first question I usually get. And my answer is always, how many does it look like I can get? You kidding me? The most common question I get, aside from, you know, the stupid questions, are how do you afford them, and how do you feed them, and you know, people have all kinds of questions. But the answers to those questions they're not easy. I work a lot, so I have a lot of jobs. I am currently working 2 jobs to make ends meet around here, and we've been doing this church gig at Nativity. And that pays a little bit, which is nice. It's a stipend that we get for playing church music.
I'm Dominic. I'm 10 years old. But I am turning 11 in 5 months. I'm the 10th oldest Fera. I play the bass. I like having a big family because I learn a lot from them that I can teach to my younger siblings. Music has impacted my life, and it changes the way I live. I would normally wake up, eat breakfast, and start school right away. But now that I've learned bass, I like to practice, then start school. I practice a lot. My favorite band is probably the Beatles.
Good choice.
Well, we've always wanted our kids to be able to play music, but I think that what made me want them to play was probably a little bit of selfish motivation, because I always figured, well, if I need a bass player, I could make one. No, something along those lines. But music has always been a big part of my life, and I guess it's just natural that it was, you know, kind of passed down. So the only gig that our families played together was a lawn fete last year, which was great. I mean, it was one of my shining moments playing secular music with my sons at this lawn fete. The little kids stole the show. So in our household, we have, I believe, 4 bands that come from the Fera household. My band, the Bob Fera Band, which, you know, I don't know how much of a splash we really made in the area, but I did play a pretty big festival around here. It's called Thursday in the Square, and Thursday in the Harbor. And I did get to travel a little bit doing that, but ultimately family commitments and working have kind of hindered any real progress with the Bob Fera Band. Next we have like Andrew and Robert's band. They just changed their name, Vision Reset, formerly known as Turbulence. The thing about their band that just kills me is their originals are so solid, yet they still play rock and roll all night and have to do that to make people cheer. That stinks, you know. That's the one drawback about being a musician. You got to play to your crowd. But God, these guys write these songs that I wish I could have written, you know. And they're in the prime of their life right now, and I hope they appreciate that and can appreciate that in 10, 15 years their brains are going to get all dried up like their father, and they're not going to have those songs anymore. So the songs that they're writing now are kind of key. You know, this is it, the foundation of the rest of their life. These are the songs they'll be playing in bars when they're 60. So John and David are perpetually looking for a bass player. I think when Robert's in town, he plays with them. Fantastic musicianship. I love listening to my sons play. I'm probably more easily impressed than you are because they're my sons, but Johnny is so talented. He's such a good singer-songwriter. He blows me out of the water at his age, and I really thought that I was like the guy when I was his age, and he probably thinks that about himself too. But so that's a nice little group there. We have the Little Boys. I don't know if they really have a name. Do they have a name? They're the Little Fera guys. I love that my son Johnny has kind of taken the lead on that. It's so hard to come home from work and be interested in doing anything, let alone, you know, teaching music lessons. But Johnny, you know, Johnny sends them up to get the switch. He's hard on them, but it pays off because they respect Johnny and they listen to what he says, and he plays with them too. So that's 4 bands, right? Well, yeah, 4 bands have been spawned from the Fera household.
1, 2, 3, go.
My name is John Fera. I'm 14 years old. I'm the 8th oldest child in my family. I play the bass guitar, the guitar, the drums, and the harmonica. I sing and I write songs too. I like playing music with them because if you know, I was an only child or, you know, whatever, it would just be me playing with my guitar and my amp, and, you know, it's just good to have the whole feel of it.
I feel like without music, there's really no point. You know, I mean, the way I was raised was on music, you know. My dad would play the guitar, we would all come and listen. We would go to church every Sunday and play music with our dad, you know.
If I didn't have music, I don't know what else I would have, because besides having an awesome big family, with music, it brings us closer, and just feels good to know how to play instruments with your family and have the same kind of ear, like tone that they like, and it all works, you know.
I got the whole world in my hand. I got the whole world in my hand. I got the whole world in my hand. Oh wait, it's just a drumstick.